Hi everybody, welcome back to Brelsford Family Homestead. Today we're going to make corn cob jelly. Have you ever heard of it? I had, and it's intriguing to me. I'm told it tastes like honey, so I thought, you know what, let's make use of some of those corn cobs we have from processing corn. So I'm still processing that corn, but I wanted to make a separate video of just the jelly. So we'll do the first part today. We'll finish off tomorrow. But once we get all of the kernels off of these cobs, we scrape all the milk off and everything, we will boil just the cobs to make a juice and then make a jelly with it. I'm excited to try this, so let's hope it's delicious. I'm getting the cobs ready for making the corn cob jelly. So I am processing corn. This is for another video, but this is going to be cream style corn. And for making the corn cob jelly, you do need to remove the corn and everything else. It needs to be just the cob. So that's kind of convenient that I can use ones that I'm doing this with. So you just take a table knife and it just scrapes off the little bits that are there and kind of the milky substance, which I will use in the cream style corn, but then this will be ready for me to cut up and boil to make the juice for the corn cob jelly. So I'm gonna finish this up and we'll see how many cobs we have. Sorry for all the background noise. I have my vent on my stove and 2 canners going, canning some cream style corn, so it's a little loud. I have 2 dozen ears here that I'm gonna use for making the corn cob jelly. It says to cut them into 4-inch pieces, so I'm gonna cut those all up and then just put them in a pot in the fridge until the morning, and then we'll start the whole process of making the jelly. Just because I have 2 canners on the stove, I don't want to have something else on there right now, and those have to go for like 85 minutes. So we'll get these cut up and then we'll come back tomorrow to make the jelly. I'm gonna make sure there's no pieces of corn on there. And I measure this. This is just shy of 8 inches. So I'm just gonna basically cut this in half. Pop these into my pot here, go through and get all of these done. I'm ready to get started on that jelly. I did rinse these off and just go through and make sure that there was no more kernels and things like that. This is a total of 24 cobs. It calls for 12. So I'm gonna divide it in half, and I am just gonna make one batch with you right now, just because jams and jellies, they boil up a lot and I don't want to take a risk of a boil over. And this only processes in the canner for 5 minutes. So that is not long at all. This will be quick and easy, but this part, I'm adding the water. It's 2 quarts of water per dozen ear. And when I'm done, then I have to strain it. I'm gonna put it in one of my big like yogurt nut milk bags and let it hang to strain really well. It doesn't, you don't squeeze it or anything. So this has to boil, let me double check. I think it's 40 minutes. I can't find it. There it is. 35 to 40 minutes. So this will take a while. I've got some, it's pizza night, so I'm making pizza. So when this is all done, before I put it in the bags to strain, I will show you what it looks like. My pizza night hack is to always make enough for lunch through the weekend. The corn cobs are done boiling, but super hot still. So I'm gonna let it cool off for a bit before I start trying to handle it to let it strain. But I will show you how I have it set up to strain. I'm gonna go ahead and get it transferred. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use this, instead of my other bags are a little smaller. This is, I think like a brewer's bag. I can link them down below, and I'm gonna use my small food grade bucket here. I'm gonna first put all of the corn cobs in, and then I'm gonna put a strainer under here so it'll keep the bag up out of the bottom so it can actually strain. But because they're so hot, I thought I would just take tongs and put the cobs in here first. Hopefully this is a good idea. While doing this, I just had a thought. For the times I want to hang something and not have to put a colander in it, I should totally put a hook up underneath there. Not around the lights, obviously, the wire, but then I could hang stuff from these bags right here. I think we'll have to do that. That's a good idea, don't you think? All right, let's see. I gotta get a colander to put under there. I'll bring you back in just a second and I'll dump it in there. Hopefully not make a big mess. I think this one will fit. I'm not sure. I'm gonna test it out first. That's not gonna be a good idea. Whoops, see, I'm already making a big mess. It needs to fit down in there without the holes being here to where it comes out. Okay, I don't love this one either. I'm making a mess because the handle is missing. I need to go wash the colander that should fit in there. This is the one I should have started with. Now I have 2 colanders to wash. So you can see it fits on the lip there, so it's not going to be coming out. But now that the cobs are in there, I'm going to have to be very careful pouring the liquid in so it doesn't overflow. I'm just keeping it real here, guys. I've never made this before. And usually when I'm straining things, I'm doing like yogurt or something and I have a different pot I use. Let's make a hole in the middle here. Pour this liquid through. I'm sure you guys make messes in your kitchen and do like several things like that too, right? Yay, I didn't spill or make a mess. So I'm just gonna let this sit and drain really good. I'm gonna have to check the directions. There might be a time. I don't think that there is, but it said not to squeeze it and stuff. So I'll bring you back when it's been long enough. But I do have something else I'm gonna show you, totally unrelated. If you make extra pizza dough, then you can take one and make it into cinnamon rolls. Okay, I think the corn cobs have adequately strained, so I'm just gonna set those aside. They'll go into the compost or be fed to the pigs. And then I'm going to divide this into 2 jars here. I need 3 cups per recipe, and it said you could add water, goodness, to equal the 3 cups if it's not enough. So let's see what we got. Let's try not to make any more of a mess. Man. Huh. I added the appropriate amount of water, but this is going to be a lot more than it called for. Well, maybe I'll put this in the fridge, and if I really like this, I'll make some more because, wow, if I need 3 cups, yeah, I've got enough for several. I need to get another jar. This is the 3 cups I'm going to use right now. This is, I guess what, maybe I'll make some more later. If you're local, would you like some? The first thing I need to do is bring the corn cob juice and 1 packet of pectin to a boil. After it's boiled, we'll add the sugar all at once, and it has to boil for 5 minutes. So this recipe, it only cans for 5 minutes, which is super fast. Some things do that, but not a lot. And it has the same time for half pints or pints. And so you could mix and do both. So I think I'm gonna do that. And obviously, since I have more that I can make, I don't know, I have to decide if I wanna do all the rest in half pints, maybe give them as gifts, or do them in pints. I don't know, what should I do? I was just getting all of that pectin all mixed up. So I'll get this to a boil, and I already have my sugar measured out here. It calls for 3 cups. The juice is at a rolling boil, so I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar. I guess I'll try and bring you over here so you can see. I'm going to add this all at once. And then I have to bring this all the way back up to a boil, and it has to boil for 5 minutes. And then we'll start putting it in jars. I did want to point out something just in case you didn't know. Since this recipe is only 5 minutes, you do need to sterilize your jars. Anything that is 10 minutes or above, you do not need to, but for this one you do. So I do have boiling water here with my jars in there. So that will all be good. I'll put more jars in there to do more batches because I've got it, so I might as well make it right. It did say you could scoop this foam off. Let's try to get some of that off. It's not going to hurt anything, but it will make for a more pleasing look to the top of our product, especially if we give this to some other people. I decided to do 1 pint for this batch, and I would say that that 4 half pints is right on the money because we did the 2 half pints and then this pint. So that's good. Sometimes it's off. We have 2 half pints and 1 pint in here, and they both are processed for 5 minutes. Get that cranked up and I'll bring you back when we pull them out of the canner. We didn't taste test it. There is a little bit. There was this much left in the bottom of the pot. So let's taste it together. Wow, I'm surprised. I mean, obviously it's gonna be sweet and it has sugar in it, but yeah. That could, I wouldn't say it's just like honey, but I also usually eat raw honey, but that could pass. Like that would definitely be good on a biscuit. That's tasty, and it was worth doing, for sure. It's time to pull them out of the canner. Look at that beautiful color. So pretty. I do have enough to make several more batches. I'm just gonna do 1 more tonight because I don't have enough of the pectin that it calls for. But I'll probably pick some up tomorrow and make it with the rest and just give them as gifts, maybe even offer some for sale. I don't know, because I have all of that juice. It seems like a waste now to throw it away, and it is really good. I did take it and let Joe and my oldest daughter taste it, and they both liked it. They couldn't think of exactly what they thought it tasted like, but they did think it was good. So I already have some sterilized jars in here. I'm just gonna get another batch going. But I appreciate you watching. I hope this was helpful for you. For these, it's just like other canning, which is you leave them undisturbed for at least 12 hours, 12 to 24 hours. After that, you take that ring off. You make sure that the lid, the inside is not, you can't push it and make a noise. It's good and sealed, and if you pull on the lid, it doesn't come off. Then I wash mine with soap and water really well, dry them, put a label on them, and put them in the pantry or bless somebody with them. I hope that you'll give this a try if you're putting up corn. Until next time, guys, God bless.